Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good day, depending on the time on your zone. My name is Pastor Yemi Omogboyega. I want to welcome you to my channel. Thank you for being with us here. And thank you also for being part of our family devotionals that we post as often as we can. I hope you are benefiting. Kindly subscribe to my channel. Please pass your comments as you deem fit. Share our videos as widely as possible. At the same time, please press the notification button so that you get to know when we upload new videos. God bless you. Now, what I'm about to talk about is just a straight talk. And I want you to be very, very attentive. And the topic is on this Daddy Freeze versus Aunty Aduni's various developments these days. I don't want to say that they are fighting, and I just want to pass a comment, make an observation. And I like to title the message either two ways, whichever you like to choose among the two. The first title I'll give to it is Arresting the Arrester. The second one is like it, Policing the Police. Arresting the arrester or policing the police, whichever you prefer to adopt. But before then, there are two Yoruba songs that I want to just chip in. The first one says, it was by late Orlando Owo. It says, Bọ́mọdé bá ṣubú, abójú wo wájú, bágbà bá tọ̀ gẹ́gẹ́, abójú wo ẹ̀yìn, awẹ̀yìn, amọ̀bi tó ti fẹsẹ̀ kọ́. Meaning, when a child falls, he looks forward. But when an adult staggers, he looks backward to know the cause of his staggering. The second one is Ẹ̀sọ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ lejò ń gàgbọ́n. Ẹ̀sọ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ o lejò ń gàgbọ́n o. Ẹ má foró ejò kẹ́ fi wé tagbọ́n. Ẹ má foró ejò kẹ́ fi wé tagbọ́n o. Now, meaning, if you see a snake climbing a coconut tree, it never rushes because it will not accomplish it. It might drop off. I've witnessed a snake trying to climb a coconut tree, true. I see that it gradually coils itself around the coconut, and gradually, by the time it makes a few turnarounds in an ascending manner, it will eventually climb the coconut tree. Let me say that social media is one major tool that the Lord has used and is using and will use to better the lot of humanity. That is why those of us who are engaged in them, in social media activities, I really see us as people that God will use to correct the ills in our various societies. The ills in government, the ills, let me put it this way, in the three arms of government, the legislative, the executive, as well as legislative, the executive, as well as which is the third one now? Just a moment, please. Sorry, sometimes the the brain skips some things. So the legislative, the executive, as well as the judiciary. It is the social media. And the fourth one is the media, which is called the fourth estate in governance. And the media, of course, reports what is going on in all this. And the press, when I say the media now, of course, social media is part of the media. But the social media aspect of it is the most advanced and the most, can I say, transparent or blunt, or the one that actually has what it takes to expose the ills in our societies. Now, it is the social media that will regulate everything and advance all the countries of the world. Through the social media today, the war in Ukraine gets to us faster than the regular television, radio stations, and so on, other media. With the social media today, our churches, the excesses of our churches are being curbed. With the social media today, the family, what is happening in families, that is, women abusers are being placed under watch, close watch. With the social media today, the children abusers, remember the one that happened recently, and interestingly, those who should know better, the one was the one that got involved in it, a lady lawyer that hired a house help, and according to her, the house help misbehaved. But in her own case, she decided to abuse the child by putting hot object into her private part, because she said the girl abused her daughter. But when you look at it, the proportion of the magnitude of the vengeance is it commensurate with the age of the child. A child will always be a child, but it is through the social media we're able to see them. I remember NBA, the Nigerian Bar Association, the other time had serious issues amongst its membership, that is its executive, about spending the association's money. The leadership, the president, was vehemently against spending the association's money anyhow. The executive members were unhappy. They drag themselves to the social media. I mean, if anybody should be corrected, who are the people that are supposed to correct the society? The lawyers. But even in its own family circle, it's all problems. Why? Because people are always doing things in excesses. There are greedy ones everywhere, in the family, everywhere. And even in the family, we've had husbands maltreating their wives, such that today, with the use of social media, a wife can complain to any organization that could help the women out, and it will be taken up. Now, what happened between 2017 and now in the social media is such that God, it actually started with, let me put it this way, we have been talking on this corruption thing. Genesis chapter 6, verse 3. God says, my spirit can no longer put up with human behavior. And he gave Noah instruction to go and construct an ark. And he gave 120 years from that date as to when the flood will come. And he gave advance notice, everything to Noah, and Noah obliged. But it happened eventually. It was Noah and his family that were saved. So, this corruption thing has been on. Anywhere you go, church is not excluded. But from 2017 or thereabout, God started bringing about bloggers to come and face to come and expose the evils that are happening in our churches. And today, social media is very much on. And God raised quite a number of, let me say, I must commend the other media also, because if you look at the newspapers, for instance, previously, they were commenting on all these on these things. But the churches, for instance, were able to silence most of them, either by threats, because I remember when one Mr. Fagbenle, I don't know whether he's of Punch or The Guardian also, commented about one GO that bought a private jet then. And this man came out and said, people are suffering and our GOs are buying private jets. I remember how he was silenced. One GO said, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. And he warned that reporter. And till today, that was the end of it. That's to say that the print media have been doing a lot before. TV media, they have not done so enough. Because if the TV people are doing the level of work that the print media, the newspapers were doing, I mean, maybe it would have advanced. Indeed, it was the TV media that was promoting even the corruption in the church the more, because they are the ones that are staging or beaming to the public the various fake miracles, the various what Maureen Badejo will call Sakama and J programs. They are the ones that are beaming the advertisements for the various local and international programs that churches were introducing, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, through this media, people got carried away. and they were exploited until about 2017, when God began to raise people in the social media who were very vocal and who were so good. And God Himself has done so much before that time. Indeed, COVID-19 turned out to be a blessing to humanity, because that was what God used to break the camel's back by restricting people to their homes. And these churches, businesses were no longer what they used to be. And yet they devised other means to say, send your money, it is your money we are interested in, send your money through the media and send it through the net and all that and so that. But they failed in that too. And then today we know that there is restructuring in the Church of God. It was during this period that incidentally people like Daddy Freeze came in, having his own bitterness in marriage and some other things. He came in, but God used him to address the issue of church corruption. And God also used many others, local and foreign ministers of God. Locally, you have somebody like Pastor Abel Damina, and that is very vocal, especially on some very important and touchy topics like tithing and all that. And then people like us too. It was 2017 that I broke away from RCCG, for instance, because I could no longer put up with the issue of this money thing that dominated the Church of God rather than salvation. And I can see that definitely corruption is going on everywhere, not only in RCCG. In my own little way, since then, I have been also online up till now, saying the truth that I know according to what the Bible tells me about how the Church of God should be run. That it should be a place of peace, a place of joy, a place of advancement. In fact, a place of prosperity, not a place of exploitation, oppression, manipulation, mental slavery, financial slavery, and everything. Moral decadence. It should never be. So a lot of people have come up. Thank God that today the church is moving forward and the gate of hell cannot prevail and shall not prevail. Now, lately, we have somebody like Sister Aduni, as well as even before that, we have Maureen Badejo, who had you remember the Olubori case and many other cases, the Suleiman's cases, the various cases that were reported in the media, how these people came up, how they rose to bring sanity to the Church of God. And like I said, sanity is fast returning to the Church of God. It will take some time and it will take sustained effort for everything to turn around for the better. That is why sometimes when people are saying it's enough, keep quiet over these things, I say no. It's supposed to be a sustained effort. Otherwise, the problems we are having will not be resolved and people will continue to be oppressed in the Church of God. I'm just narrowing the entire to church because that's my constituency. You know, the legislative, anywhere you go. I've cited the example of NBA. This corruption is everywhere, even within the families. So that be that as it may, let me come down to Daddy Freeze and Sister Aduni. That's why I said, bọ́mọdé bá wo wájú, bọ́mọdé bá ṣubú á wo wájú, bàgbà bá wẹ̀yìn, àwòbí tóun ti fẹsẹ̀ kọ. Then ẹ̀sọ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ lejò ń gàgbọ́n. Daddy Freeze has contributed, no doubt, immensely to the promotion of transparency, especially in the Church of God and even in families. There is no doubt. At least God used him to confront the spiritual giants of our time. And to God be the glory. He won the victory. And till today, everybody is profiting, let me put it that way, from the efforts of Daddy Freeze. Maureen Badejo, ditto. Pastor Abel Damina, ditto. And later on, people like Pastor Sam Adeyemi was very bold, not only to tell the truth, but also is now propagating the truth about what is happening in the church. Is another person to reckon with. And not only that, there are other foreign and local pastors, ministers, and social media experts. Like, what's the name of this lady now? She's one of those I first met on this social media stuff. What's her name now? Maybe I'll remember as I go on. I keep forgetting her name anytime I want to mention. She's in the UK. She's a nurse by profession, and so on. I can't remember now. A lot of them, they did a lot of work in this regard. Funke Ashekun has also, through her own experience with the church, has come up to shape the church for the better. I came up with mine as far back as 2017, where I left RCCG. If you still check, you will see the posting there, and it's still trending till today. And now lately, what's her name now? Aunty Aduni, of course. Since she came in, she has been very vocal, and she's also shaping the lives of the church. Not only in the church, she's also shaping the lives of the society. That's why you could see him talking about Daddy Freeze, see her talking about Daddy Freeze, talking about the various topics that she's handling. Very good work. Like I told you, not even the judiciary could do this job. Not the legislative could do this job. Not the executive could do this job. Not even the TV aspect or the... I know that the radio people are trying a lot. But the TV is the worst because they are the most, can I say, they are the most outstanding, apart from YouTube, that has helped us so much now, where you can own your own TV station. Apart from YouTube, Facebook, and all that, WhatsApp that we're using now. TV is the one that actually promoted the evils that happened in the church the most. Like I said, they did not screen, they did not find out the veracity of all they were after was for them to make their money, and then these people advertise fake things and keep trooping into all the various programs, and at the end, until God brought in COVID-19 to keep everybody behind the bars. And thank God for that. So God has been working and is using his agents to do his work. So now, Romans 3:23 says, For all have sinned and have come short of the glory of God. Brethren, or dear listener, it is only God who is good. Even Christ said that. Said even Christ that is part of the Trinity said, don't say I am good. It's only God that is good. And it's only God that has no variableness, that has no sin, that is all saints, that is all complete, and is only God Almighty. And Christ, Yehoshua, our Christ, as whom you call Jesus, is only, and the Holy Spirit, that you can find sainthood in. Everybody, for all, me, you, Daddy Freeze, Aunty Aduni, Maureen Badejo, Abel Damina, Pastor Abel Damina, Daddy Adeboye, Pastor Kumuyi, Pastor Adeyemi, all the church leaders, all the Jews, all the bishops, and every member of every church is a sinner. And you see, now, the astonishing thing is that Yoruba will say, Ìpàkọ́ ẹni ẹlẹ́ni là ń wò, àbí how do they say it? Ìpàkọ́ ẹni ẹlẹ́ni là ń wò, ẹni ẹlẹ́ni ló ń wò tẹni. You can see the back of somebody's head because you are behind the person. The person behind is the one that is seeing your own. You cannot see your own, the back of your head, because you are facing front. So there is nobody in this world. That is why I have mixed feelings with what is happening between Daddy Freeze and Aunty Aduni, or the kind of exposure that Aunty Aduni is trying to make of Daddy Freeze, and calling Daddy Freeze out to speak where he is unwilling to speak, and so on and so forth. I received with mixed feeling. One, I see that it is a good development in the sense that if we notice anything wrong about somebody, we should be able to point out so that the society can advance, so that transparency, which we are all trying to promote, will come. But I see it as in a negative dimension too, that the extent to which Aunty Aduni is taking this matter is like trying to rubbish Daddy Freeze. Because I'm sure what is happening now, all the pastors that Daddy Freeze has criticized, all the various ills of the society that he has checkmated, all the efforts he has put in within this short period in this social media, especially after he has retired into full-time social media thing, it's like Aunty Aduni is trying to rubbish the whole thing. And it's very, very disheartening, because honestly speaking, yes, Adeboyega, Pastor Toby Adeboyega, is a known friend, is a known sponsor, is a known supporter of Daddy Freeze's movement. But when a matter like this comes, it calls for restraint on the part of Daddy Freeze. And it's even more disheartening when Aunty Aduni is drawing attention to hush puppy. And the worst part of it, the one that on the negative side that touches me most, is like Aunty Aduni inviting the police, the UK government that is investigating what's his name now? Pastor Tobi Adegboyega, to beam his searchlight on Daddy Freeze. That's going too far. That's going too far. What I can see from that is that, look, it appears there is some bitterness which is in the heart of Aunty Aduni that is now being verbalized using this matter as a point. You see, the way I look at it is, both of you are bloggers. Yes, you've tagged Daddy Freeze. According to you, you've tagged Daddy Freeze. Speak on this matter. But like I said, you see, the way I look at it is that if I am a crusader, that I am, and unfortunately, the person that I now have relationship with is somebody that I never knew had a shady character. I never knew had a shady character. How would I have known? But if it is now coming out like this, that, okay, the person I'm promoting that I see as transparent is allegedly being said not to be transparent, the first thing that will come upon me is I will be weakened in my spirit. I will be weakened to my bone marrows, that if I'm promoting somebody and that person now today is now being accused of one thing or the other, until that person is cleared, I cannot raise my head up. I cannot talk about him again. And I have to remain silent. Now, asking me now to talk about that person, because that enough is a big blow. The case of Hushie Puppy, Daddy Freeze came out to clear himself. And I'm sure that those who are investigating Hushie Puppy then were not stupid enough, were not stupid as not to know whether they should beam their searchlight on Daddy Freeze. And they did not. And the matter died like that. This matter of Tobi Adegboyega is still being investigated. And now, it's a matter of, number one, I can read the mood of Daddy Freeze as that of, hey, if this thing were to be true, it means I will be seen as promoting evil. And people will see it as if I knew, whereas I did not know until allegations were made and until decisions are made that this man is really fraudulent. I will be confused. And that is the position that the Freeze is now. Would that then rubbish all that Daddy Freeze has said about the pastors and all the good things he has addressed? Will I now be linking that to say, okay, you are talking about this, then you are not talking about this? The cases of pastors are very, very proven. Everybody knows. And, that one is settled. Because the Bible, the tithing thing we are talking about, Bible makes it clear. Hebrews 7. Anybody, any Christian that does not understand Hebrews 7 will remain in perpetual confusion or remain in perpetual, stupidity, because it will be exploited. Hebrews 7. Because I always ask myself, will all these our GOs say they didn't read Hebrews 7 to know that the order of the Mosaic order, even the tithing thing we are talking in verse 5, says When you were paying the tithe in those days, you were paying it according to the law. Hebrews 7 verse 5. You are paying it according to the law. But again, that the Lords themselves have been jettisoned, erased, cancelled, and that the Moses order, Aaron order, Levites order have been erased along. Would they say they don't know? But did they ever teach us? So the Bible itself, clearly, it is ignorance that worried us, that we became their puppets. But God delivered us. It took me over 60 years of age before I could understand Hebrews 7. And I've been reading the Bible since I was young. But I lack understanding. Thank God, God has brought out the understanding. God is sending a message to us. He used diseases, COVID-19, to crown it all, to ground the whole system before we could realize. Was God not blessing the people during COVID-19 period? Is it the prayers of the church or the tithes they are paying that was helping them? In Ekiti that I reside in, for good 2-3 years, people were not receiving their salaries regularly. Some were being owed up to 1 year salary. Yet God was taking good care of them. Where are these people that are saying they are the one praying for them? Only that they are exploiting them, and they were even saying, send your money through this, is posted their account, send your money if you can't come to church, which means it is not your salvation that is important, but your money. So God settled that matter himself, but due to our own ignorance, is this thing not contained in the Bible? Did the Bible not say in verse 22 of that Hebrews 7 that, look, Christ came in order of Melchizedek, came with a new covenant that superseded the old covenant that was useless, faulty, achieved no good purpose, and that the new order was sureteed by Christ. And did Christ not even summarize the 613 laws in the Bible in Matthew 22, chapter 37 to chapter 22, verse 37 to 39? Did he not say the whole of those orders, all those laws, are summarized into love your God with the whole of your heart and love your neighbor as yourself? Did we not read that? Which is the order of the new covenant that Christ brought, thereby bringing about forgiveness, mercy, grace, and every freedom from oppression, which our GO subjected us to. You can see. So, how can we rubbish all the good things that the priest has done there, or many of the lessons he has taught us on marriage? Where is it in the Bible that church marriage is conducted? Through the church. Is it not in the Bible that the church is supposed to create egalitarian society? 2 Corinthians chapter 8, read from 1 to the end. Did the Bible not teach us in chapter 9 of 2 Corinthians, from verse 1, read to the end? But even before you get to verse 10, you will see where it says, you should give voluntarily. It's also repeated in 2 Corinthians chapter 8, that you should give voluntarily to the church of God, not that you are coerced, lest they will say I am forced. Did the Bible not teach us that? So let's leave that alone. You see, asking that the priest to speak about Adegboyega is, to me, biased. He cleared himself during hush puppy. This one is still being investigated. Then, even if he will speak, he has to speak voluntarily. Not that we impress and say, speak, 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 when the man will still be nursing terrible wound in his heart. Secondly, Aunty Aduni went as far as saying if Daddy Freeze did not collect money, if he has not been bribed by Adeboyega, these allegations are true. I mean, you see, only God can know the truth about a man's activities. It is true they are friends. Doesn't mean that, they frolicked on fraudulent terms before now. But now that it is becoming obvious that this man is being alleged to do something, the first thing is for him to steer clear of him. And I remember in one of the various interviews that were being conducted to Daddy Freeze, he said all he knew is that Adeboyega had over 200 businesses, that he knew some of them, but he didn't know them all. So he saw him as somebody who had legitimate business. So if it turns around to be something else, please reduce that noise, I beg. Please reduce the noise. If it turns around or turns out to be that, mommy, please lower this thing. So, like I said, if it turns out to be that Daddy Freeze did not know about who Toby Adeboyega is and is now coming out, I don't think it's something that he would jump out. If I were the one, I don't think I would be so happy or I would be so light-hearted as to quickly jump out and say this and say that, other than to say what he has said. All I knew about him is that he does this, he does this. People have been questioning him on that. I think, number one, the shock is enough first. But at the end of the day, in law, you don't... All that is being said, they are allegations. Until somebody is proved guilty, is innocent. Adegboyega is still innocent now until proved guilty. We should all realize this. What if at the end of the day, Pastor Toby Adegboyega wins in all these cases? You cannot be too sure. You can never be too sure. The certainty with which Aunty Aduni is talking is as if she has biased against Adegboyega. Yes, you are both in UK together. I'm okay. You are in US, in the US. He is in the UK or so. You know yourselves. You are both in diaspora. Well, even if you are hearing something about him, all that Aunty Aduni would have been to probably a long time before now. Caution Daddy Freeze on not to promote this man too much. I remember when Peter Obi was still running for this presidential race, Okonjo Iweala said one thing that I cherish so much. She said, Peter Obi may not be the person you think he is. Beware, he's a man to watch. That's all. And that sent a very great message to the people. Up to today, we don't know the details. But she warned. Governor Soludo said, Peter Obi has only come to pave way for APC to win. And he kept quiet. Till today, we don't know the details. But later it came out. And it came out to be that, of course, Peter Obi breaking away from PDP helped to make Asiwaju to win because he went away with a lot of votes. That's why I say, Esopele Lejongagbon. Aunty Aduni is too harsh on Daddy Freeze for now. Daddy Freeze, I know that for now, if I put myself in his shoes, it will be in a state of mental confusion as to, if it turns out to be that this man is fraudulent, this will affect my reputation. And do you know that what he's doing now is the only thing left for Daddy Freeze? Because he has attacked the pastors, they've blocked all the areas he would have made his money. The only money he's making now is from blogging. And the money he's making now from blogging is the one that Aunty Aduni also is now saying he will be calling for gun, pop my gun stars and all this. What would he have done? He has no other jobs apart from the church, which is a free thing. And the church itself is not a regular church where you can collect money. And equating that the freezes asking for money guns from TikTok and stars from YouTube or whatever, equating it with the offerings that and the tithes that our pastors are demanding, it's not the same if there is no bias behind it. Saying that even you that have lower, so you know how much is making, this is going too far. This is going too far. You could have done this thing behind the back. Please, if you know how to reach Aunty Aduni, please send this thing to her. I'm giving her a brotherly advice. Let her ẹ̀sọ̀pẹ̀lẹ́ ni kó ṣe. Torí bọ́ ọmọdé bá ṣubú awowájú, àgbà bá ṣubú awẹ̀yìn wò. I think I'm older than Sister Aduni. I should be able to at least give her a brotherly advice. She's too temperamental in this matter. It simply suggests that there is something that she's envious about under the freeze. It's not good. It's not good. The fact, you see, they said even a criminal can be innocent in a matter. You see, let me give the analogy. A person is known to be notorious, a notorious thief, and they say something is lost. One day, everybody suspects that he is the one until somebody else was found, and that man is innocent in this case. Aunty Aduni needs to mellow down. The attack is too much under the freeze. You are doing a good job as far as the churches are concerned. He has done a good job before you. Why rubbish him? There's no need. All I would have wanted is the two of you and the money in Badejo, every other one, should have continued with the job. The little that we are doing at our level, we are doing. And we are getting results. So why are we now going to face one another? And those people will now come around and say, Èdí ti mú wọn. Èdí ló ti mú wọn. Fúnra wọn náà ó máa fúnra wọn lóògùn jẹ. Whereas, like I said, there is no saints in this world except God Almighty. No good person. Aunty Aduni is talking today. One day, take note, somebody will unravel something that can bring her down. Let's be careful. That's why we need to be careful. Even as we are correcting our pastors, wise ones amongst us will always pray that these pastors change for good. As we are criticizing them openly, we are also praying for them openly. We are also praying to them in the secret that God will change their heart. All we are saying is let them stop exploiting, to let them serve their God. Let people serve their God without being exploited. That's all. Whether they are the devil, no, it's not. We cannot judge them because something, you see, in Nigeria in particular, the way we are, do you know that it will take the grace of God for somebody to be rich without having a dirty foundation? Look at the case of Wigwe. Aunty Aduni was saying, these are the people doling the money that is meant for development, cattle, and so on and so forth. And trying to say that, yes, these people may have done what is wrong, but he has done his own bit and is gone. And at the same time, we saw that he also helped the Church of God. Maybe that's the way he understood it. Say, let me give back to the Church of God. Paying choir, giving church loans and all that. Maybe he may have done those things innocently. But the way things turn around to be in Nigeria, that everybody is suffering, now makes people to think, okay, you are pumping this so much money to the church and people are suffering. You are right too for criticizing that way, but the dead is dead. Let the dead sleep. The judgment is in the hands of God. You can no longer repent now. So these are the areas in which Aunty Aduni is going to the extremes. Let the dead rest and let the living that is still doing a good job, let them continue. You do your bit, I do my bit. Then gradually we are moving the society forward. Because like I said now, the church of God is no longer the same. And if we sustain this campaign, because these people that we thought have given up, they haven't given up. They are still devising other means to collect these monies. I remember one of the most senior GOs the other day, when he wanted to talk about the tithing, they removed the camera. Immediately he finished talking about the tithing, they brought it back. Trick. And the next one, he started asking for the same thing. So, these are the things we should focus on, correcting that which needed to be, not attacking one another. Not attacking one another. You talked about his Rolex. What I understand about Daddy Freeze, since I've been watching him, is that, look, you see, everybody has the way he's building his wealth. And he's somebody who has this heart of letting people know how they can create wealth for themselves. Has he not invited people to debate which one is more lucrative or profitable between buying Rolex watches for keep and for investment purposes than building houses? Has he not proved that building houses is not as profitable as buying Rolex watches? He has proven it. That's why he wants to say that, okay, if God has blessed you to a point where you can buy Rolex, it's another way you can invest your money. It's an invest. So it's not that he's flaunting it for purpose of, and then to the point that you say, go and investigate him. How did he get his money? This and that. Who has not spent dirty money? No, who has not spent dirty money? Even part of the money with which you would have spent to even get overseas would have been dirty if investigated. That's the truth. If you beam searchlight very well into it, would have been dirty. It's not all the monies you make that are clean. I know you are trying to say from the money you make, you still dash out, you do everything. If you make your money illegitimately and you dash out, people not stealing from the government and then using the church that was detected recently that took billions from a fraudulent person, and the church said the money has been given to God. God has taken dirty money. So if we begin to open everybody's underskirt or trousers, you will see, you will be amazed the nature of diseases that are inside people's mind. But what we are saying is, let us begin to create this awareness that people should make their money transparently. And then that the freeze has never, is using it to tell people, he has not taught people how to make money through foreign exchange, forex. He has taught. Today, as I think last week I was watching, or this week also, I was watching where he's already keying people into learning AI and AI training, where people will be relevant, where people will, do you know the implication of introduction of AI? We knew what industrialization did to our people. When industrialization came, during the period of our Greek, everybody was engaged. In fact, many men were marrying many wives to have many children to help them at the farm. When industrialization came, everybody ran to industrialization. Those who did not read at all, they stayed in the farm until their generations were away. Then those who went to the industry, if you have primary six, you have good job, you are at your level, and so on and so forth. But then industrialization went. Machines were introduced, and then what 100 people would do, one machine will do it in a day. Now, people were laid off. Then technology came, computer. Then people were being laid off. Then internet and others came. People were being laid off. Have you been to Lagos lately to go and see Union Bank building? Go and see Marina. I worked at Unity House. That was my office before with Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. It's desolate today. National Oil Building is desolate. Mandela is desolate. All of them, all those tall buildings in Lagos, they are desolate today. What brought about that? Is it not the introduction of technology and all that, and poor economy and all that brought about that? Times are changing. Now we are going to AI. AI, where you could ask machine, you are going to work, you program your machine to cook for you, to sweep the house, to mop the floors, to wash your clothes, to do everything, prepare everything ready for you. Those of you who are looking for house help, where would they come from? Everybody is going to be jobless. That's the way it is. Even at my generation, at 67 now, my generation, if care is not taken, and if we are not technology driven or technology educated or competent, who will be set aside? I started with a manual typewriter to electric typewriter, from semi-computer typewriter to computer, from computer. I started self-publishing books myself with the printers that I bought to print books. I launched 5 books in one day at Museum Center in Lagos, published by myself, self-published. Technology. The only thing that the printer did for me was the cover. And I published everything, launched them. People lost their jobs. Then AI has come and is now going to take the remaining jobs of everybody. And Nigerians are still having many children. As the saying not changed, when they say, everybody wants to enjoy the fruit of their labors over their children. The children have no jobs now. What provision does the children have to take care of their parents? Is it not a question of now parents laboring and to leave good legacies for the generations after them, up to the 3rd generation? And that's what your GOs got. Ashimolowo is training his children in best schools, his grandchildren in best schools abroad. Go and listen to his message. How not to be broke or something. Go and get it. Ashimolowo. Pastor Deboye has built so many and is still building so many, and he even wants to own an airport. He has own chalets. They are trying to live good. That's why I say they are smart. The only thing that is bad about them is lying to people to gather that money. Dirty. That is the dirty way of gathering money, by telling people to pay tithe and pay first fruit, and you go and bank them. You know it. But now, when the money gets to you, using it to build your own empire, everybody is seeing it. A university, which everybody thinks is owned by the church, is said to be owned, allegedly said to be your personal university, but carrying the name of the university. And you say they are not doing fraud. Who is more fraudulent than somebody who said that God said what God has not said? Who is more of armed robber than somebody who is robbing the people and claiming that they are robbing God? It pissed me off when you say they are not fraudulent. They only collected money voluntarily. Who is more of a robber than somebody who manipulated people, who threatened them, who coerced them, who cajoled them, who begged them, who asked for money? And these monies are going not for the purpose, according to 2 Corinthians chapter 8, where God says, create egalitarian society so that those who are poor will not be poorer and those who are richer will not be richer. Who are the most fraudulent human beings than these our GOs? And you say, how much does Daddy Freeze have? I'm not just defending him. This guy is doing a lot. Let's not discourage him. Let us not bring him down. Because as it is now, your own time will come. My own time will come. It may be during our lifetimes that people will begin to open and say, the can of worms in us. Who is there who amongst these rich people are spending clean money? That's the truth. If, for instance, Tobi Adegboyega spent money to Daddy Freeze, and as at that time, Daddy Freeze does not know that the man is into shady deals, is he guilty to have collected money? Oshipopi gave money to Daddy Freeze, housed him, did everything. That was the time he never knew that he was a fraudster. And later he was. Let us not be insinuating what we don't know. I mean, Daddy Freeze, you calling, where is brother? Brotherhood is not in the fraud. I'm not saying cover somebody who is fraudulent. But Daddy Freeze to me has not done anything that you can say is illegal or is shady. Ejigbadero, àyàfihàn lásán ló lè sọ̀rọ̀ ẹni bí. Obe sang for Ejigbadero. Ejigbadero was hanged. Did Obe know that Ejigbadero would go and kill somebody? It was Obasanjo that signed his exit warrant to get out of this world when he committed a heinous crime. Who knew? Olowo Fela in Ekiti State here today. He's one of the richest person that everybody is adoring. I have a singer who sang for Olowo Fela, Olowo Fela, Olowo Fela, Omori, Olowo Fela, Atemi, Olowo Fela. Recently, he was nabbed for him having hands in the killings of the kings that were killed recently. It's a pity. Late Femi Ariyo, if he has been alive, all the monies that Olowo Fela spent for him, will he go and return it to him? Will he go and return it to him? Olowo Fela. Everybody wanted to be like Olowo Fela, including myself that time. Not knowing, you see, there is dirtiness. If everything about you and I are investigated thoroughly, but don't worry. You see, we can escape man's investigation, but God's investigation, nobody can escape. So let us not playing righteousness over another person. Nobody is clean. For all have sinned, including you and I, including Daddy Freeze, including everybody, including. All we need to be asking for is mercy. Mellow down, mellow down, mellow down, mellow down. I advise you, mellow down. Daddy Freeze has suffered enough. It's God that is protecting him. By now he would have been dead. If it were if all that God used him to do in 2017 to now, if he had done in up to 2005, he would have been dead. And even now, he still has to be very cautious. People like us who are talking against our GOs, it's only God that will. I'm not in the UK. I'm not outside this place. You are there. You appear to be safe, but who knows? It's only God that can keep somebody safe. The only thing that I know is, let's be fair when we are criticizing these people. All we are saying to the churches is, please stop exploiting the people who are suffering. Then if they won't stop, we are talking to the people themselves. And they won't like that. They won't like that. Is it not one GO that said, somebody frozen somebody somewhere? Do you think that person likes Daddy Freeze? Somebody was alleged to have written to his employers to sack him. As of today, because of their influence, he cannot get good interviews that will really fetch him money. And he's now asking for money gone. You say it's equivalent to the money that the church is collecting. That's not the same thing. That's the only whatever. That's the only source of income he had. Now, do we want to block it for him and make him to commit suicide? Why? Even if he has been doing that, private chat him and say, look, this you're asking for money gone, why not stop it and let people be giving you what they want to give to you? And even these days, I think he has mellowed down on it. We all have periods of ignorance. If he was doing it thinking that that will bring him money, it is market, it's the product. He's selling his service. And if the people are buying it, it's not the same thing as somebody who does not invest anything in your life and is collecting your 10% and is collecting your first fruit, is collecting your offering, is collecting and asking you to give 1 billion, 2 billion donations. Eh? Ẹ jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run. The way you took this thing is either the nature of the woman in you is driving it, or you are biased towards him. What for? Why should you be envious of him? There's no need. And you are making waves now. People are loving you. I love you. Agape love, before it is misinterpreted. Not looking for a girlfriend or wife. I'm not looking for sexual partner. I love what you are doing because you are saying the truth. Even about this, that the freeze is the way you go. If you didn't go the way you go, it wouldn't have been that bad. All you would have done is private chat him. Maybe you said he's one of those who even made you to just see all these things that you are doing today, especially on the church. And you are continuing with his good legacy. That the freeze has stopped talking about the pastors. He has finished with that one. He's now doing his private life, following his life business for him to take care of his family. Why? Even if he's roped into so many things, he should be able to be objective that this man could not have deliberately. Somebody who is criticizing someone would not have deliberately gone into that thing. Kọ́lọ́run Elédùmarè. Yoruba will say, Abode ni kò bá ní tì. He who is seeking after your downfall, there is no way unless God helps you that you can escape it. So, because they will be looking for every minutest fault, whether it is deliberate or not deliberate. Did he steal his toe? Nobody wants to know whether he was hungry and he was dying before he took a morsel of food. You went too far. You went too far. It's not good. Let us come back to the drawing board. You are too hard and harsh on Daddy Freeze. That's my take. Let us correct this thing. Let us correct this thing. I know it is human. What you did is human. But let's stop it at this level and begin to address it. I'm not saying keep silent over what is evil. If the UK government wants to investigate Daddy Freeze, let them do. Not that it's you that is inviting them to do so. No, it's not right. They know what to do. We don't need to push them. I know that Pastor Tobi Adegboyega himself will be. I mean, no matter how smart you think you are, because it's somebody I respect a lot. Since I heard that he's doing what he's doing, I'm so happy. I am so proud. But if he has done this one too now, well, it's unfortunate. And if it is not true, may God exonerate him. If it is true that is genuinely helping people, may God deliver him. And even among the people that you say posted so many things on the exposers and so on and so forth, yes, they may have done that. I'm not speaking for or against him. Let those people speak, and they are speaking. Let the government investigate. If it's correct, then they know what to do. But it will be a shameful thing, to be so sad. You see, one error that our wealthy people are doing is, look, when you have money and you are beginning to make this noise, I can turn the heavens to the earth, I can do this. We need to be careful. That's not what wealth is meant for. You can do what you want to do silently and quietly, and then affect people's lives better. And the idea of flaunting the wealth, Lamborghini car, all these things. I remembered one of the things that he said during one of this interview, during one of these Daddy Freeze's encounter with his, the churches in Nigeria, any church that can match what they are doing, they say, we want to know, they will match it. We are not in competition in value. Let every church do its own quietly. But let it affect positively the lives of the people. It's not the amount of noise that is made about the thing, but the impact that is making on the ground, building the society. When the poor people are beginning to make their ways and they can feed and they can do well, then the impact will be there. The people will forever be grateful, and God Himself will be happy because God has sent us to them. The religion that God approves is the one that James 1:27 is the one that God, that is pure before the eyes of God, is the one that takes care of the poor, the widow, and the orphans, as well as Luke 11, 40 to 31 also. Go and 40 to 42. Justice to the poor. Matthew 23, justice to the poor. Matthew 22, 37 to 39. Love your God with the whole of your heart, love your neighbor as yourself. I hope I've made the point. Aunty Aduni, I'm not castigating you. I'm only saying, pẹ̀lẹ́pẹ̀lẹ́ o, pẹ̀lẹ́pẹ̀lẹ́ o, torí èní kọ́, torí ọjọ́ ọ̀la. Bó ti wù kẹ́ ṣe kẹwàá angelic tó, àárẹ̀ ni tá ti ẹ̀ purọ́ mọ́ yín níjọ́ kan gan bí ò tẹ̀ níjọ́ tọ́. Wípé báyìí lẹ ṣe. Tá a bá ń sunkún, a máa ríran. You are too harsh under the face. Mellow down. Let God take control. Well done for all the jobs you are doing. I'm always watching your programs and I love them. You are still on the right track until this bias thing was introduced that defraces something. And that's why I felt I should speak. Please, if you know how to reach out to what's her name now? Aunty Aduni. Please keep sharing this message until it gets to her. God bless you.